In this episode of the Brawn Body Podcast on Motivation Monday, I'm talking about Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in peace, and how you can use his story to continue to motivate yourself this week and throughout life. So, as many of you know, the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman occurred over the past couple days, and a lot of people really looked up to him. He was a very inspirational individual, very hardworking individual. Obviously, I've never met him in person, but through following him in his movies and social media and all that, he seemed like an incredible guy. So the world lost an incredible person with his passing. But the thing is, people may pass, but their legacies will live on forever, as long as people remember. So this podcast is all about remembering one of the most important things, biggest lessons I think you can take from Mr. Boseman. So, as you know, he had colon cancer, and he was diagnosed with that in 2016. So this is 2020, so that was about 4 years ago. So think about that. You get a terrible diagnosis like that, and they say, look, we're going to do what we can, but, we're not promising anything, something along those lines. Or, 5 years looks pretty good, but after that, we don't know. That's scary. That's scary stuff. Think about that. If you got told today you've only got so long to live, how would you live? How would you go about your life? I don't know what I would do. I don't know. But luckily, I don't have to decide on my own, because Chadwick Boseman set an example. He was given that diagnosis. And what did he do? He went out and he lived life to the fullest until he could no longer do so. He went out and he made an impact on millions and millions of people. He had a positive influence on millions and millions of people. He motivated people every day in his movies, on social media, through his daily interactions. I remember reading something from former President Barack Obama about how the impact Chadwick had when he visited the White House on all of the different children who were also there visiting at the time. They were there for like a baseball thing because Chadwick played Jackie Robinson in a movie at the time. So I just remember these different things. And you think about that whole time, he knew someday he wasn't going to wake up. And that day was a lot sooner than he would have liked. But he still went out, and he left an impact. He had a positive influence on so many people. So think about how you would live if you approached every day with that mindset. If you approached every day like it's week one, day one, or, today could be the end, how would I want people to remember me? What impact would I want left on the world? And thinking like that and doing that will keep you mentally going indefinitely. You will not burn out. And if you start to feel that burnout, I'm going to steal a quote from Plitt right now, one of my personal heroes. But Gregory Plitt explained, if you're feeling burnout, think about someone like Chadwick Boseman, or go to your local hospital, visit the cancer wing, or go to a nursing home. Obviously not right now with the pandemic and all, but visit someone who has some sort of mental disorder where they can't even think straight. So someone in like a memory care type unit with Alzheimer's or dementia. Okay? Go and visit that person. Go and visit that cancer wing at your local pediatric hospital and stare at a young child, 5 years old, who's got stage 4 cancer, won't even live to see their 6th birthday, and tell them, while you're sitting there, perfectly fine, perfectly healthy, look at that person in the eyes and try to tell them that you are burning out, that you can't take it anymore, that you don't know how you can continue to press on. whoever it is you're looking at when you say those things, they would do anything to have any of the opportunities you have, anything to have those opportunities that you're probably taking for granted. Think about this pandemic. When's the last time that you were able to go outside without a mask? When's the last time you were able to go out and watch a movie? When is the last time you went out and ate at a sit-down restaurant? Or how long was it where you went without those things? Those simple things that you take for granted. Think about those things, okay? Be aware. Be aware, because other people would do anything to have the opportunities that you take for granted every single day. So live each day like it's your first and your last. So keep that mindset going, and then never burn out, because you know someone else out there has a much less fortunate situation. Someone else out there has a diagnosis, and they know that the clock is ticking for them, but they're still becoming the person that they want to be. They became the person they wanted to become, and they never stopped, never slowed down, and were never limited by their diagnosis. And if you don't have a diagnosis like that, then you should have no limits. Live life endlessly, fearlessly. Live each day like it's your first and your last, and leave that legacy. Impact people, influence people, touch people in a way that makes sure that the message that you're giving, your legacy, will live on, because we are only here for a finite amount of time. But the legacy you leave can be non-perishable forever. Thank you so much for listening to this short little motivational episode of the Brawn Body Podcast. I hope this gives you the energy and fuel you need to start your week off on the right foot and continue to keep that momentum throughout the week. As I said, rest in peace to Mr. Chadwick Boseman. He was a phenomenal individual, and let's make sure his legacy never passes and that light never burns out. Also, big shout out to Gregory Plitt, who also passed in the year 2015, if I remember correctly. I did kind of steal a little bit of his quote there when I was talking about the whole burnout thing. One of his quotes goes something along those lines. Look it up if you have some time and want a great read. That got me through a lot of hard times. So big shout out to him. May they both rest easy, and may both of their legacies continue on forever. Thanks so much, and stay tuned for another episode this Wednesday.